Nasema one term. Wewe William Ruto, wewe Kasongo, wewe muuaji, wewe mwizi.
Gachagua akisema namna hiyo mambo ya rais, yeye ndio mmoja kwanza ule propagandist number 1. Kwa sababu ile mambo anaongea it's just propaganda na bitterness ya uchungu yake mwenyewe.
To fall into the same trap Gachagua ibua augaga agwire athire uhiki na ngari ye rwenda gutwara uhiki na ngari yake.
Now, at the wake of the impeachment of the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua last year, a lot of loyalists emerged from the Kenya Kwanza government. Those that believed Rigathi Gachagua did not need to be impeached. Most of them affiliated themselves with the fight of those that opposed the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. Now, it seems as time nears for Rigathi Gachagua to announce his new party, a lot of divisive figures have come out from his loyalist camp. Speaking about loyalist camp, recently we were speaking about the former Nyeri Town Member of Parliament, Honorable Wambugu Ngunjiri, who disassociated himself with Rigathi Gachagua and decided to join Jubilee Party. Remember, Wambugu Ngunjiri was a loyalist to one former president, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, until Kenyatta left his position as the president of the Republic of Kenya. Wambugu Ngunjiri came out as a strong defender of Rigathi Gachagua during the impeachment times. Now, beyond that, Rigathi Gachagua had also brought him to work in the office of the Deputy President while Rigathi Gachagua was serving as the DP of the Republic of Kenya. And they had a very good working relationship. Now, until recently, when Rigathi Gachagua was sent to unveil his new party, 1 or 2 weeks ago, Wambugu Ngunjiri walked out of Rigathi Gachagua's team and joined the Jubilee team. It is the same thing that is currently happening with the former Bahati Member of Parliament, Gathoni Ngunjiri. Gathoni Ngunjiri was among those that showed up for Gachagua during the impeachment time. If you remember very correctly, Wambugu Ngunjiri was among those that were crying at the Nairobi West Hospital, after Rigathi Gachagua was rushed there for treatment when it was claimed that the man had fallen sick during his impeachment case. And he called upon William Ruto to rethink of the good times that he and Rigathi Gachagua shared together. Now, currently, Gathoni Ngunjiri, being one of the so-called Gashagua's trusted allies back in the days. We saw him crying at Karen Hospital, not even Nairobi West. It was Karen Hospital. When Gachagua, it was admitted that he was sick and was admitted at the hospital to escape the cross-examination from senior counsel Orengo and other lawyers during the impeachment time at the Senate. Now, since then, Ngunjiri has differed with Gachagua on so many issues. The same way Gathoni Wamuchomba, Mary Wamaua, and Ngunjiri Wambugu, that the so-called trusted allies of Gachagua have since recently fallen out with Rigathi Gachagua. Let me tell you what is happening. During the first, before we proceed to analyzing the whole story, let me take you back about a month or two ago, before the president toured the Mount Kenya region. Gathoni Wamuchomba started having a dissecting voice, a voice that said Rigathi Gachagua has to associate with the whole people of the Republic of Kenya and should stop perpetuating tribal politics that have turned out to be a divisive factor in the politics of the Republic of Kenya. Because they said that Rigathi Gachagua was supposed to be a representative of the Republic of Kenya, to represent the whole nation, not to represent the Mulima people only. That was the voice of none other than Gathoni Wamuchomba. And that voice was echoed by a lot of people who called out Rigathi Gachagua, telling him that he should do away with his tribal basis politics so that he will have a strong, consolidated support from every part of this country. And a lot of people saw through Gathoni Wamuchomba. They said Gathoni Wamuchomba has been bought by William Ruto, and Gathoni Wamuchomba is there to fight Rigathi Gachagua and to divide the Wamunyoro function as a whole. Now, let me tell you, if you have currently been examining the politics of the nation and all the Wamunyoro functions, you will realize that Gathoni Wamuchomba has recently disappeared from Wamunyoro, and she doesn't associate herself with the Wamunyoro team as it was expected, because she was among those that stood firm in fighting for Rigathi Gachagua during the impeachment period of the year 2024. She was among those members of parliament from the Mount Kenya region who saw their allegiance to Rigathi Gachagua. Remember, Gachagua is expected to unveil his party on Friday this week. Now, he has been preparing a lot of his supporters and even those members of parliament that are currently under UDA party, and they feel that they are there just for the sake of being there to not face the criticism from the government, to follow him, to go ahead and resign from the UDA party and join the Wamunyoro team. But people like Gathoni Wamuchomba seems to be taking a backseat. Now remember, these were the frontline soldiers that defended Rigathi Gachagua during his impeachment. Why are they taking a backseat at this crucial time when now it has come a time when Rigathi Gachagua is supposed to unveil his own party? Let's leave Gathoni Wamuchomba aside. Let's go to one Mary Wamawa. Wamawa has always been a Rigathi Gachagua supporter since Rigathi Gachagua was kicked out of government. But since President William Ruto's tour in the Mount Kenya region, Wamawa defected and left Rigathi Gachagua's function, and she went back to joining the other UDA and the Kenya Kwanza MPs, and to continue singing the goodness of the president. What does this tell us? Look at it in this function. Rigathi Gachagua is going to lose Gathoni Wamuchomba. This is the voice of the people of Kiambu County that is being lost. She is going to lose Ngunjiri Wambugu. This is a man that worked with Rigathi Gachagua for a very long time. Since Gachagua became the DP until his impeachment, until now, when they parted ways a few days ago. And remember, the reason why Wambugu Ngunjiri left Rigathi Gachagua's party is because Gachagua started telling them that everybody who want to be associated with Rigathi Gachagua should go ahead and quit any affiliation with any other party. More so, if you are a leader from the Mount Kenya region and you are associated with parties like Jubilee, PNU, DP party, and other parties, you should quit those parties. If you are affiliated with UDA, you should quit those parties and show your allegiance to this party. But remember, some of these members who are supporting him have been members of certain parties for a very long time. Like Wambugu was a member of the Jubilee Party for 9 years. So serving ties with the Jubilee Party, 9 years affiliation for somebody who is launching a new party that they don't know the direction that the party will take at the end of the day, it became a problem. Now let me tell you, Rigathi Gachagua in his own character, the man is a dictator. That, yes, you might love the man, I agree with you, I support you, but one thing that you should understand, according to our analytics and the intel that we have always been receiving about the Wamunyoro team, Rigathi Gachagua is a dictator, and everybody that is within his camp is supposed to bend towards him, including donating a certain amount of money that Rigathi Gachagua wants to be donated. Gachagua akisema every member to donate 10 million, haupaswi kupingana na yeye. That is how he leads the Wamunyoro team. And that is why the Wamunyoro team day in day out unapata ina separate. Kuna wale wanarudi kwa serikali kwa sababu how should I come here niweze kuwa mimi ndio ninatoa pesa yet kwa serikali mimi ndio napatiwa pesa ndio niendelee kuunga serikali mkono. Let me give you another example. The reason why Rigathi Gachagua will be left alone because as Gathoni Ngunjiri says, Gachagua is a bitter man. The fight for Rigathi Gachagua is not a fight for the people of the mountain. The fight for Rigathi Gachagua is a fight to make sure that he punishes those that stood with his impeachment, those that supported his impeachment. That is everything that he got, nothing else. He is a bitter soul. He's a man that doesn't know how to let go of a fight. He's a man that has an ego so big that once bruised, he will go to the extent of making sure the person that bruised his ego either dies or suffers the most. So that is what most of the members are realizing. This is not about the fight of unity. This is not about the fight of giving what's best for the Republic of Kenya to the people of Kenya. It's about, caressing the ego of Rigathi Gachagua. At this point, Rigathi Gachagua is leading the Wamunyoro team as a dictator. And at the end of the day, the man will find himself in a corner. Only his wife alone will be left with him. For now, that is one thing I tell you to take to the bank and cash on it. Imagine we are heading to the launch of the party of Rigathi Gachagua. Let me tell you one thing. Gachagua, you see the mobilization that is done by the government. Once Kimani Ichung'wah goes somewhere, he offers the youth of vijana kwa ground wanapewa mazuri. Yes, there is a way a politician prepares the ground. You know that we have supported Raila Amolo Odinga the rest of our lives since we knew what politics is, and we know how Raila Amolo Odinga prepares the ground. We have been there seeing the mobilization that goes into preparing for Babas coming to the ground. Rigathi Gachagua believes he does not have to use a coin for him to get support. Let me tell you wale ambao mnasema yes Gachagua has sijui background support, he has organic supporters. There is nothing like organic supporters for Rigathi Gachagua. You are there because of sympathy. You are there because you sympathized with the man when he was impeached. Let me remind you, there is no politician in the history of this republic that has organic supporters other than Raila Amolo Odinga. It's only Raila Amolo Odinga. Raila Amolo Odinga, if today he dare say, I am back, I am not in government, everybody who was saying, Tosha Ruto, watasema Ruto tawe. That is right. He is the only politician that can pull that. Rigathi Gachagua is nobody, my dear friends. And that is why people like Gathoni Wamuchomba, Mary Wamaua, Kimani Ngunjiri, Wambugu Ngunjiri, and others are recently preparing to exit the Wamunyoro team. And they have already done so. Because they have seen the man is not there for the sake of the republic, for the sake of the people. He is there for the sake of his own ego. Look at him. He started feeling jealous because Matiang'i returned and people started saying that Matiang'i is the only viable presidential candidate that we have in the 254. Now, Gachagua amepandisha kiburi. He thinks that he can become a presidential candidate because eti court of appeal inaenda kuondoa makesi ambayo aliwekelewa ya impeachment. Bwana, it is not about you, Rigathi Gachagua. It wasn't about you from the word go. It was about redeeming this republic. Calling leaders to action. You are just a product, a casualty of Gen Z's war with William Ruto. So everybody knows that. And regarding Gashagua's fight, it's not a fight that you will stand there and defend the man. You can't. Let me ask you, mnaona the youths ambao wamekuwa wakipiga kelele wakiunga Rigathi Gachagua mkono kwa muda mrefu. Let me give you an example of Kijana Msafi. Kijana Msafi, since Rigathi Gachagua was impeached, he has been calling Rigathi Gachagua, supporting Rigathi Gachagua, abusing the government. What has Kijana Msafi got from Rigathi Gachagua? We see him every day huko akifanya vitu zake. But the Gachagua has never even invited the man for a cup of tea. Let me remind you, everybody that stood for Baba Raila Amolo Odinga during the 2022 general election, akina Nuru Okanga, Omoshwa na hawa Gaucho, currently hawa watu ni manufaa gani hawajapata kutoka kwa Baba Raila Amolo Odinga? Gaucho currently moves around with security. Nuru Okanga alijengewa akafanyiwa kila kitu. So that is what a man that recognizes the real organic support does. Let me give you an example. Did you see the home of the late bodyguard to Raila Amolo Odinga, George Oduor? No, it's a question. It's a question. We are not fighting. I'm telling you, Rigathi Gachagua can't be compared to Raila Amolo Odinga nor William Ruto. William Ruto has held people that supported him close to him. And that is why I tell you, this fight, if Rigathi Gachagua is on the ticket, the presidential ticket or the deputy presidential ticket, that we say we are done with the opposition. Hapo ndio itakufa kabisa. The man has started preparing the ground eti watani support mimi ndiye nitakuwa na run for president is total nonsense. And akina Gathoni Wamuchomba waliona huyu jamaa ameanza kuona eti anaweza ongoza Kenya, ndio ameanza sasa kiburi na what have you. Na waka log out. Tell me what is your take.